Coming up right now, a recent flight turned into a horror show with a toddler taking center stage.
Also coming up, the latest DIY beauty hack features a popular office supply, but experts warn it's a stretch.
Yeah, a little bit later on, a New York City coffee shop aims to be the next hot spot for singles with a unique twist.
Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hey everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
I am Mitch English, kids. You have found Daily Flash, and we thank you for it. Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Yes, sir! We have got a great show packed here. We're going to have some fun with you. And, of course, we got Matt Doolittle to my right.
Guys, it is such an exciting summer. So much stuff coming out.
Yeah.
I urge you to head to dailyflashshow.com. There you can find our preview review section where I'm going to be going into all the trailers and everything coming out.
Cool.
And as I get to the screenings, putting reviews up and all of our behind-the-scenes stuff that Sweet Baby James puts up there. And send us your comments at flash@dailyflashshow.com.
Very nice. British there.
Yeah, I like the British accent.
You're classy with that British accent.
We're taking sort of a Downton Abbey turn here.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. All right. Speaking of, have you watched Mobland?
No. I watched maybe the first 10 seconds and I got to watch this with my wife because I want that to be our next show.
I love Tom Hardy so much. He's phenomenal, but you have to watch that show with the closed caption. Because otherwise, forget
It's
it.
Cockney?
It's Cockney. I am so lost without it. You have to have the closed caption on.
They are saying now more people watch television shows with the closed caption on than don't. So it shows you, that's another, because number one is the TVs.
Because of the flat.
It's flat screen, the speakers are in the back and they're hitting the wall, so unless you have a surround sound, you can't understand. And then I still can't understand them.
And do you notice too that a lot of these shows are dark? Like we try and watch them in the living room, and it's so hard to, like, you have to watch them in like a dark room in order to really enjoy.
Dolby Vision, do you have a 4K TV? It's because all films in Dolby Vision are the contrast.
So Dolby Vision, because it's all contrast.
Black room.
It seems like there should be a button you can press to turn that off, like you can like the sound.
Phone, like the brightness on your phone.
Yeah, or crank it up, exactly.
I digress. College kids, 49% of Gen Z say they are worried that their degree was a waste of time because now they're going to be competing with AI in the workplace. And they do have a point.
Graphic designers, I know, are really close to the top when it comes to that. And these are very talented people. And now a computer can pretty much do it. If I wanted a logo, you go, do you need to hire out somebody when you can do it free on AI? I totally get it.
And this comes on the heels of the Department of Education announcing that if you took out a student loan, you need to start paying it back. Remember, there was that sort of that time where people were like, well, do I have to pay it back? And there were mixed messaging. So now they've come forward and said, starting in May, you will have to start paying your student loans back.
I said this a while back. You know Mike Rowe, he was on Dirty Jobs. He is a big proponent for vocational schools.
Yes.
And guess what? AI is not going to be able to unclog your toilet.
No.
Or
use a blowtorch.
Blowtorch, right?
Fix your car.
I mean, we might be able to get robots eventually, but you're not going to go get a robot to come into your bathroom and
Mow your lawn.
Well, I can see mow your lawn.
Fix the electrical stuff outside. Full-on electrician.
AC, heating,
mechanics.
plumbing, mechanics.
So and I remember growing up, it was like you got to go to college, got to go to college, got to go to college, and some kids, college just ain't for them. I personally think college really wasn't for me. I found out what I wanted to do afterwards. I started my career. I was like, hey, I like doing weather. This is cool, and I went to get broadcast meteorology.
Here's the issue that I think a lot of these kids have is that they take out these ginormous school loans, right? They go to college for something ridiculous, basket weaving, underwater. I'm just throwing that out there as an example, but you know what I'm talking about. Some of these topics, you're never going to find a career in this place to pay back your $200,000 in student loans. And somebody suggested that shouldn't the universities be holding the paper on these student loans, not the taxpayers? Because if, let's say, you decide to go to Harvard and you decide to take out a $200,000 student loan, shouldn't Harvard then be responsible for that? Because they're charging you $200,000 to go to their school.
And we've said this on the show. Look into the coffers of those universities. We're talking not millions, billions of dollars sitting there because they make money off
endowments.
And endowments.
Yeah, and that's just kind of crazy. So anyway, a lot of these college student loans will becoming due. A lot of people are in default because they thought that it was on hold and now they're going to have to start paying it back, which I really think brings up the question, is it worth it? Should you be taking out a student loan? Maybe you should go to vocational school first and then go to college.
Try to figure out what you did. And then you also think you don't really make the right sound decisions until that frontal lobe is developed.
Right.
Maybe we should push college back to 25. That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
I deeply regret mine because I went back to get my master's and I had to take out loans then. I got out with undergrad, nothing. And then I went back for my master's because they fluff it up that, oh yeah, you'll have all these connections and you make all this money to make it back, no problem. And then they just kind of let you go on your own. Now my wife, she's a lawyer. She's got some debt, but she's actually using her degree right now.
Yeah,
so,
right.
And that's something that is practical.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I totally get
And that was another part of the conversation. If you're going to promise a student with an MBA that you're going to create all these great connections, then shouldn't you be on the hook for
They
those
should have
student
been
loans?
because they did nothing after we were done. And the program wasn't that great.
There you go.
Yeah, make it more competitive, I guess, is what
Yeah,
we're
I
saying.
think so too.
Here's some trending stories. Looks like a young passenger provided some in-flight drama that no one expected.
This is crazy.
Listen to this story. All right, mom falls asleep on a 14-hour flight. The youngster, I want you to look at your video, basically seen stabbing a random adult with a fork. All right, I know you had forks on planes. Anyway, the woman recorded the video, captures the moment her sister flags down a flight attendant for help. You can hear her say, she's over here stabbing people with forks and she just randomly stabbed me. All right, another passage suggests that hitting the girl with a sandal to scare her away if she comes too close.
Chaqueta?
That kind of, if it worked, I don't want to invoke violence, but if it, a warning at least. The attendant grabs the fork from the kid's hand as well. Hey, look, mom, 14 hours is hard as a long time. I get that. But that says a little bit more about maybe, throw the kid next to the window where, he can't get out. And make it harder.
Kids are
going to
him out
do
of
it.
a seat. She was probably five rows up before the mom even went lights out.
No, 100%.
But you always bring this up, and I think this is a great idea. Kids section on the airplane.
I would fly
back
that
of the bus.
airline right now.
Yeah.
And then
rope it off. Let
it.
them all have each other.
And it's not that I don't like kids.
Love
it's
kids.
just that parents sometimes they don't hear and don't recognize how obnoxious it is when maybe I had a long weekend where I had to work or whatever, and I'm just trying to sleep, and I got a kid hitting and screaming.
I was at a restaurant, and these parents had these two kids, and they were screaming and yelling and running around the restaurant out of control. And the parents just sat there and ate their breakfast. It's like they just tune it out after a while. So what they're used to, the rest of the restaurant's like, what is happening here?
And you guys know this. The worst flight you're ever going to have is in or out of Orlando.
Yes.
And the last two I took were straight flights from here to LA and back. And right before spring break, and it was a nightmare on these. And the parents don't care. They're just letting them run up and down the hall. I was like, one kid did get next to me. I'm like, go away.
Well, especially after they've been to Orlando and they've spent like their entire life savings and they've taken out a second mortgage on their house to pay for the Disney trip. They're probably like, I don't care.
Mom and Dad,
just get me home.
Tired of dealing with the kids. It's when we're flying out is the issue. They're dealing with it. There's no place to put your luggage because there's all kinds of souvenirs. I know it's first world problems, but I got to tell you, just, if you see your kid doing something, you might think it's cute or whatever, just check with the other person.
Does.
I mean, no, not everybody does. And you don't know what kind of weekend or work day they had on those planes.
Yeah. Well, the latest beauty craze lighting up social media has users wrapping rubber bands around their ears for an Insta facelift. The trend involves looping rubber bands tightly around each ear for up to 30 minutes. Fans claim the facial trick reduces puffiness, lifts cheekbones, sculpts jaw lines, all without needles, knives, or filters. But medical professionals say the whole thing is really quite a stretch. The experts say that while some users might notice an immediate change, it's likely because of tension rather than any fluids draining. The rubber band facial creates a quick lift, but once they're removed, the face returns back to its normal shape.
I don't know why this is, but every video I've seen, there's a lot of Asian folks that do this, and I think they have better skin than maybe other, I don't know.
He's got gorgeous skin.
Yes.
Like, why would he even need to do anything?
And then you're also, people are like, you have rubber bands on your ear.
Yeah.
I've seen these things where you have tape and I want to get this done.
See,
by the way,
women can do that with longer hair,
Yeah,
but she's
'cause you
got
hide it.
yeah, because you can hide it. But yes, the tape thing.
The
they,
tape thing I've
they
heard
can
of.
use.
I mean, I don't know, I'm never going to do it or whatever. I think, and there's, as you said, it is dangerous, and it's the young kids that, you know, that want to try it or whatever. They don't need to worry about it. Their skin looks great. It says old people have to deal with it.
I'm hoping one day in the history books it looks back on this era and they go, yes, there was an era when people used to do stupid trends online that they found on a thing called TikTok.
And everybody's like, are you serious?
Are you serious?
Like what
How
we do
dumb
now.
was that generation?
Saying
Really
people,
dumb.
You know, like we say about bloodletting, you know? That's
Leeches,
how I would.
when they put leeches on you back in the
Leeches.
1800s.
We're hoping that society, when the mushrooms take over the world and we're all running from it.
You wonder what happened to the Roman Empire while you're living it right now.
There you go. More Flash, more fun, more of everything when we return. Stick around.
Oh! Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson. Home sales across the country continue to ebb and flow. So who is feeling the pinch right now? Is it a buyer's market or a seller's market? Joining us to talk about it is housing market expert and COO of Unlock, Michael Micheletti. Michael, welcome to Daily Flash.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Let's first talk about interest rates because they really drive the housing market. Interest rates for home loans have remained pretty high within the last 4 to 5 years while home prices continue to rise. How are these high interest rates and home prices impacting affordability, especially for a first-time home buyer?
Well, interest rates, thankfully, have started to come down just a little bit in the last 4 to 6 weeks. So perhaps a little bit of relief for possible home buyers that are entering the market. And with everything inside of residential real estate, it's always about location, 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 right? So certain markets, we're seeing home values come down a bit. So places like Austin, Phoenix, parts of Florida, there are deals you could say to be had. Outside of maybe San Francisco, parts of Southern California and the Northeast, where prices continue to remain elevated.
Let's talk about the effect this might have on someone who is selling their home right now. What are you seeing trend-wise?
Well, I think the era of multiple offers, multiple bids on a property, especially in certain markets, are coming to a close because of those interest rates and because home values remain extremely elevated. So for those home sellers that are out there, you may want to require a little bit more patience than what you probably would have seen in the past.
We talk about foreclosure rates sometimes when the market starts to change. Have they started to tick up after historic lows?
So foreclosure rates, certainly we've seen tick up just a little bit here in the last 6 to 12 months. They still remain at historic lows. I think a lot of times we see some fear mongering around this, where you start to see foreclosure rates tick up or mortgage delinquencies start to tick up a little bit. But overall, the housing market remains very, very healthy.
I think when it comes to investments, everybody is really shy of having that 2008 experience once again. So what sort of signs should we be looking for as an investor if we're looking to purchase real estate?
Let me just address the 2008 part of that first before I get into the investor part of it. Is 2008. Obviously it was a generational event that happened. And coming out of that, there were lots of regulations that were implemented. Dodd-Frank, the birth of the CFPB and other things to help mitigate those types of events in the future. So it's really about the loans themselves and making sure that a lender and a borrower are on the same page when it comes to buying a home. So you don't see too many of the loans that we had back in 08, 09. That ended up defaulting. The foreclosure activity that we're seeing today directly tied to the macro conditions that many Americans are undergoing right now. I think we've all seen it when you go to the grocery store, you go to the gas pump. Home. It's not just about the home being expensive; it's our day-to-day life expenses also have gone up.
Yeah, and you factor in homeowners insurance and all of those other expenses. Let's talk a little bit about the rental market right now. It has seen some cooling off across the country. How does the rental market impact the housing landscape? And again, what are you seeing trend-wise in the rental market?
So you're seeing people not move as much. It comes down to that, right? You have elevated costs around home buying, but at the same time, rentals have stabilized for many, many Americans. That's because people are just simply not moving right now. And that's also tied to the economy, just generally speaking. We're seeing, unemployment rates slightly tick up, and you're going to see that as we head into the later parts of the spring and summer, as businesses, the government, as acclimating to a new normal, if you will, when it comes to the macro conditions in the United States. And when that usually happens, people don't do a lot. They typically reduce their spending overall with just day-to-day expenses, but that also factors into the housing market directly, where people just don't move.
Here in Florida, and I'm not sure if this is happening in California, if it's just so built out you're not experiencing it, but we've seen a huge increase in the construction of apartment buildings and condominiums. In the end, what does this mean for the current housing market as it stands? And from your opinion, is it better to rent or is it better to buy?
Once again, it depends on where you're at in the country, but we're certainly seeing a movement to higher density dwellings, right? So you just spoke about condos and apartments,
Yeah.
right? The primary residence of a single family residence, not to say that it's going away, but in the spirit of certain areas of the country, high density dwellings just make more sense for those areas in the country. Florida would be a prime example of that. Other areas where you have much more land space and other things, you continue to see single family residence being built. We're at a bit of a pivot point in terms of the housing stock in itself, right? I think everyone is aware that we don't have enough housing stock for the supply and demand part of that residential real estate. But is that turning from a single family residence, which is, when you think about the American dream, it's not to own a condo or to own an apartment. It really is about the white picket fence, Americana. And are we seeing a change in that American dream?
Yeah, and I'm wondering too, this is kind of an offshoot, but when it comes to vacation rentals and people buying that extra property, is that a worthy investment, or is it better to kind of hang tight and be patient?
Well, I cannot give out investment advice because that would be against the rules, but you can see how people feel about this through the lens of, you could use an Airbnb as a proxy for how people are feeling about rental properties, vacation properties, and these kinds of things, is that there's been a pullback in that. And this is tied directly, once again, back to the macro conditions, right? People are not going to be traveling as much this summer, for sure. And because of that, Airbnb, any of the other rentals types of properties that are out there, or the services that provide that, are also going to see a bit of a pullback.
Michael, great insight. Thank you so much. For more information on the housing market, you can head to our website, dailyflashshow.com.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. It is Thursday. That means it's time for us to check in with Tony Toscano to find out what's coming out of Hollywood and straight to your screen, no matter what size you're going to watch it on. With the latest.
Here's Tony. Like, literally, there he is.
I'm here. I'm right here next to Mitch.
Yeah, now let's watch your screen chatter. Come on.
Despite the orders not to be around.
I know, I'm breaking so many laws right now. Here's screen chatter.
Thanks, Mitch. Streaming on Prime is the crime thriller Cold Wallet.
How do we owe $67,000? There's something else going on here, I promise you. I'm gonna get your money back.
This Hagel guy's alive.
He's alone in a mansion.
You take Bitcoin?
When a team of computer experts lose everything in a cryptocurrency scam, they plot to kidnap the financial influencer who conned them. I chatted with Melanie Diaz and Raul Castillo.
It's such a what you start out with is not what you get. So I think they're just going to be like, whoa, I did not see that happening. I did not see that coming. I hope they leave kind of like, wow, that was a hero story and I didn't even know it.
I didn't put the script down from the first page to the last. It was that kind of read. And I think Cutter and his whole team have done such a great job. The cast is bananas good. Everyone, beginning to end, is, there's so many good performances in the film. So many memorable, like, day players, even, like, people that came in, like, for a day and then just crushed it. Yeah, I'm very proud of it. And I hope people come along with us for the ride.
Cold Wallet is a solid crypto heist movie with some pretty intense moments, as well as a wonderfully twisted script. Check this one out. Again, it's streaming on Prime Video and gets a B. It's rated R. In selected theaters is Disney's new updated version of Snow White.
This was my father's kingdom, a place of fairness, but the Queen changed everything.
Take him away!
Your Majesty,
What did you say?
the people need some kindness.
You know, I really don't remember you being this opinionated.
In this update from the 1937 animated film, Snow White joins forces with 7 dwarfs to liberate her kingdom from her cruel stepmother, the evil queen. Our cameras caught up to stars Rachel Ziegler and Gal Gadot at the world premiere.
It's the most fun you can have in a movie theater. I really do believe that, to have people whistling along and tapping their feet to the songs. We've written so many new ones for this film as well. The filmmakers have taken such good care of this timeless classic, and the way that a musical brings people together is something to be studied in a lab, honestly, and it's just the most fun movie-going experience, and I really hope that it encourages people to go out and see it in a theater, because that's the best experience to see any film, let alone ours, and let alone a musical.
It was a lot of fun playing her. I really enjoyed her deliciousness, and I let myself go all the way with the drama and with the character to really celebrate the evil queen, and it was pure joy.
Despite the controversy surrounding the film, on the upside, Snow White is more outspoken and rebellious than a helpless princess waiting to be saved. On the downside, the animation is clunky and feels off. But all in all, the pluses and the minuses balance out. Again, it's playing in selected theaters and gets a B. It's rated PG. For the Daily Flash, I'm film critic Tony Toscano.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to your Daily Digits today. We start today with a whopping $20 million as your first digit. 2 legendary jerseys are hitting the auction block, and they could fetch a jaw-dropping $20 million combined. Michael Jordan's game-worn jersey from his 1984 preseason debut with the Chicago Bulls and Kobe Bryant's first ever Lakers jersey from the 1996 are going up for sale at Sotheby's this spring. They aren't just sports memorabilia. They're historic artifacts from the careers of 2 of the greatest players to ever hit the court. Notice LeBron's not in there. Jordan's jersey, complete with the remnants of past players' names beneath his iconic 23, symbolizes his humble beginnings from when he became a global icon. Meanwhile, Bryant's jersey, worn during his preseason and regular season debuts, represents the early days of a career that would lead to 5 NBA championships and an unforgettable legacy. And
yeah.
I got
okay,
2.
You have one?
I have a couple of them right here.
Oh, look at that.
20 million? 20 million, anybody? 20 million?
Wow.
20 million?
But to me, they look just like the ones that they're selling.
Exactly. So 20 million? 20 million? No?
Very nice.
Okay. Does that still have the tags on?
Those are good ones. Yeah, they still got tags.
The tags are still on.
All right.
$10 million each is what it says.
That's what I'm hoping to get for them. Nick, you got me? Okay. All right. Well, your next number today is 30. Yes, 30. In a move that's sure to stir some headlines and hearts, Prince Harry is reportedly in talks with Netflix to create a deeply personal documentary series about his late mother, Princess Diana, slated for a 2027 release to mark the 30th anniversary of her tragic passing. The docuseries would see Harry take center stage as host, narrator, and co-executive producer. A Hollywood insider reveals this could be Harry's most intimate project yet. So we're going to get more Diana stuff even 30 years later.
Incredible. Matt, thank you for those digits. We got more Flash.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hey everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
I'm Mitch English. This is Daily Flash. We thank you so much for joining us today. We've love having you along for the ride. I tell you, everybody's been talking about last week, I believe it was, we talked about that Titanic up on the big TV where you can look at it high def.
The digital Titanic that you can experience on a huge floor-to-ceiling 3D screen.
Tell you a story. Back in the 1940s, a ship went down as the Yorktown, about 1,000 miles off of of Hawaii's coastline.
Okay.
It went down 3 miles. Well, they never really went out and looked at it. So they took a camera crew out there and said, hey, let's go look at the USS Yorktown. They go down there, and when they went down there, it went down in 1942 at the Battle of Midway. They had a camera, and they're looking around on the ship, and they see, you know what a Ford Woody car is?
Yeah.
Okay, gorgeous cars, right? One completely intact on the top of the ship. And they're like, how in the world did this happen? And not only that, it had on the side of it, basically it said what it was used for, which was deck search or something along those lines. And they believe that the 1941 Ford Super Deluxe Woody was basically owned by the ship's captain. That they're thinking that maybe when they pull the short, they take the car and then you have a car wherever you can go to. But they say it is in pristine, outside of it being waterlogged.
Yeah, that is true.
But it's not rusted out. It looks incredible. And no one knew that it was on it. That's what is even weirder. So he might have done something that he wasn't supposed to put it on there. An admiral, I said captain, but an admiral.
Imagine you're like, nobody will ever find out.
Find a car on it.
Here's $20. Slip my car on.
And you figure how big those things are.
yeah,
they
they
probably
were
could
huge.
hide something in there. So neat about that. Noah thinks that the car maybe when they had made a stop at Pearl Harbor and got some work done on it, possibly that could be another explanation. But even still, interesting what they could find for these deep sea explorations. And on a side note, they have made technology to where they have cameras that can go the farthest that we've ever gone in our life. These drones that can change the way that they, because they can get down on the bottom of the floor, but the air would stir up the
ocean floor?
The ocean floor, where it would change and kind of looks like a manta ray. And these things are only like 3 or 4 centimeters, and they can go 14, 15,000 feet underground where no one's ever gone before. Really,
What's
really
the
cool.
depth of the Mariana Trench? It's like the deepest trench in the world.
Oh, I couldn't.
32,000? Is it 32,000 feet? So
that sounds
Mariana
about
Trench.
right. Yeah.
Does anyone? 6 miles deep? Like, and
124 miles.
124 miles deep?
That's what this says. 200 kilometers.
And not on Wikipedia, because
that's what the web says.
But could you, there must be stuff down there that we can't possibly imagine.
Fish with no eyes, they say. No, in all seriousness, why would you need an eye if it's pitch black?
They had that one, the fish with the teeth and the little glowy thing
Yeah,
that turned into like an internet meme for about a week. But people were crying over that thing.
What do they call it?
Anglerfish, yes.
Anglerfish,
Okay.
yeah.
It was the first one ever seen.
So we don't know what's down there. I tell you what, when we do, you'll find out about it right here on Flash.
You sure will. Young passenger provided some in-flight drama no one really expected while her mom took a nap on the 14-hour flight. The youngster seen on video
Look at this.
stabbing a random adult passenger with a metal fork. The woman who recorded the video captures the moment her sister flags down a flight attendant for help. You can hear her say she's over here stabbing people with forks and she just randomly stabbed me. Another passenger suggests hitting the girl with a sandal to scare her away if she comes close. The attendant grabs the fork from the child's hand and I think eventually woke the mom up to let her know that her devil child was basically harassing the entire cabin full of passengers.
Did you find it weird that there's a metal fork on the plane? It must have came from home.
No, when you fly overseas, they give you a metal
they'll give you
one,
a nice,
especially for those longer flights. We had them on the Virgin flights. Yeah.
Like the spork, it seems like would be just as fitting. But hey, I'll take a metal fork.
But a plastic fork in the sides hurts just as bad.
Then you can scoop it up at least.
I mean, they make them into shanks in prison all the time, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. I think what they need is a timeout area. If they're not going to put all the kids in the back or a certain section, put a timeout area.
They do.
And it should be right after the big guy from E4 had some bad pork the night before. Throw him in that, then the bathroom. That's what they need to do. Teach them a lesson.
Cordon off a section on the plane toward the back, turn it into a romper room. The kids can all play with one another. The parents can all kind of just sit there and zone out, and everybody's happy.
Flash Airlines will have that. We'll be back. We'll be landing right after this. Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash.
Yeah, so Finland has been named the happiest country in the world for the 8th year in a row. Country rankings were based on answers people give when they were asked to rate their own lives. Researchers say that beyond health and wealth, some factors that influence their happiness were pretty simple: sharing meals with others, having somebody to count on for social support, and household size. In Mexico and Europe, a household size of 4 to 5 people logged the highest levels of happiness. One other major happiness factor: believing in the kindness of others.
And if you're wondering where the United States was on the list of the top 25 happiest countries, we were number 24.
24.
As far as being happy.
Who was 25?
It was it's a South American country. I can't think of it offhand, but they came in at number 25.
Venezuela.
I think it was I want to say Chile or something like that.
Okay.
But I remember it was a South American country. They also had said they broke it down even more. They said that actual rates of returning lost wallets in those countries that have a higher happiness rate are twice as high. Meaning more people will return because they're happy and that sort of thing.
Well, that feeds into believing in the kindness of others, right?
100%. There you go. And then along with, since the COVID-19, generous acts have remained around 10% higher than pre-pandemic levels. And then, as you mentioned, sharing meals. More people in those happy countries share meals. That's interesting.
And are they putting the phones down when they share the meals?
Yeah. And you got to make that a habit. Like when you go out to eat or whatever, just don't even have the phone on the table, just out of sight altogether. It'll help you out, trust me. Tesla moving one step closer to operating a fleet of robo-taxis. The company unveiled their fleet of self-driving cars, which will eventually be a part of a ride-hailing service there in the Golden State. Only company employees will be allowed to be a passenger in the Tesla robot taxis. It's the first step for the company who wants to operate a fleet of self-driving cars within the state. It's going to be up to the DMV to give Tesla the green light to legally operate autonomous taxis on public roads. It is freaky to see that. Waymo is really big, which they drive around in Jaguars when I was in Los Angeles a few weeks ago. And it is such a creepy, weird feeling, even still, just to see one of these cars just drive by and slow down and do all the things that a normal car would do. They also have this little radar thing on the top of their car. That's what's constantly so they
Very
can see
Blade Runner to me.
It is. And these cars look like they like Back to the Future where they add a bunch of stuff. That's what these cars look like right now. So it's freaky to see that, and then they're still having problems where these self-driving cars are going down the wrong way on the road. So it's kind of freaky, but I think no matter what, we're moving towards that, and it's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the visuals of them continue to improve. So, you're looking at these robo-taxis, they look so futuristic and cool. And of course, with the wing doors, amazing.
It would be cool to walk in. You want to show up in one is really,
right?
You just hope that the ride there will make it nice.
That's when you're not embarrassed to roll up to the valet.
There you go.
Yeah. One God-fearing airline passenger has turned to the Almighty to keep her safe in the sky by anointing an aircraft with holy water prior to boarding. Passenger posted her video to social media, and you can see her dipping her fingers into a bottle of holy water and then using it to paint the sign of the cross on the doorway of the plane. While JetBlue has not been in the headlines lately, there has been a recent string of incidents that have air travelers a little bit on edge.
Yeah.
Experts suggest a number of ways to curb your fear of flying, including meditation and tactical breathing.
Okay. And I don't know. I mean, I probably wouldn't have an issue if I saw somebody doing this, but it would also kind of freak me out a little bit because I'm like, okay, what is this person doing? Are you marking it for like a radar for some company? I mean, no, I'm serious. Like there are people that don't know what she's doing.
Well,
that would freak some people out.
I think from a safety standard, of course, like you're thinking priority in the skies, like what are you doing with it? And is that water? I don't know if that's water.
Yeah, we don't know what
it
is. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
But I want to respect that, allow her to do it, but it would be freaky.
It's common in black culture.
It is. To bless the plane?
Yeah, but do you bring your own?
Can't you just pray?
When they do that, so she's afraid, so she uses the holy water.
James just spills his mixed drink all over the ground for him. We have more Flash after this.
Hey, spring is here, and that means it's the start of another busy sports and outdoor activity season. Joining us with the scoop on the best gear for the whole family is Chris Woods with Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Thanks for having me. If you're a parent like me, spring sports is in the air. So whether your kids are playing baseball, basketball, softball, volleyball, Academy has everything you need under one roof. Today we have some great brands that we're excited to talk about. We have the Baseball 101 collection, really fun ice cream pattern, sprinkles over the waffle cone, really adds a lot of fun to the kids going to the ballpark, really builds that confidence. For those a little bit more serious about their game, we have the Bruce Bolt batting gloves. Really fun lightning bolt design. We have the compression sleeves starting at $30. Then we also have the batting gloves, which helps add a little bit more power to the swing. Hopefully they can hit some home runs this season. And no matter what skill level, what you're shopping, we want to make sure parents are staying within budget, especially if you have kids playing multiple sports at the same time. At Academy, we have a good, better, best price selection. So we have various prices across various skill levels to make sure you're not breaking your budget. We also have an exciting brand that launched at Academy, the Jordan brand, iconic greatness, launching at 145 Academy store locations or academy.com. We have a full range starting with the Luka .77 shoe, starting at around $100. And then we have from head to toe, whether it's the headband, the shoes, or everything in between, you can shop our full range of Jordan products at a great value, 145 store locations or at academy.com. And if you're not interested in the sports, we have you covered if you want to go out and just have a good time with the family. Whether you're interested in hiking, camping, fishing, we have a wide range of assortment. You can go and shop us in-store or academy.com.
Hey, April is Financial Literacy Month, and while you're thinking about your finances, there's one big expense you don't want to overlook: healthcare. Joining us now to share some tips and strategies to help you save from United Healthcare is Dr. Rhonda Randall.
Well, last year, 11% of U.S. adults avoided healthcare due to cost. So a couple things that you can do to have financial health are: first, start with transparency, a shopping experience, having an understanding of what your healthcare costs are going to be upfront. More and more health plans are offering these cost estimator tools, like ones offered by United Healthcare in our app and on our website. In addition to that, more and more employers are offering modernized healthcare benefits, like Surest from United Healthcare, that eliminates deductibles and shows members their out-of-pocket cost upfront through a shopping experience in the Surest app or online, showing you what your copay will be based on the provider that you select is going to get you the most cost-efficient care. And you can sometimes save up to 50% off of your out-of-pocket costs in a plan like Surest. All of this information and more is available on our website, and that is uhc.com.
Are you looking for a healthy, high-protein diet? Well, there's some great meatless options to consider.
High-protein diets have always been popular with athletes, but they have health benefits for everyone else too. Registered dietitian Amy Goodson has more.
High-protein diets benefit everyone, young and old. Protein supports growth in children and teens, enhancing energy, focus, and health. For adults, it helps curb hunger, boost metabolism, and aids in recovery after injuries.
Following a plant-based diet may seem challenging when you're trying to meet a protein goal, but even if you do eat meat, some plant-based products can pack a significant protein punch.
One of my favorite plant-based proteins is PB2 Performance, which is made from real peanuts and almonds and has no added sugar. With 20 grams of protein per serving, it's ideal for men, women, and children. It comes in 3 varieties: cocoa and peanut protein, vanilla peanut protein, and vanilla almond protein, and can be blended into smoothies, mixed into recipes, or stirred into water.
For more information on PB2 Performance, visit pb2foods.com.
Well, the U.S. Army just launched its latest campaign titled Uncommon is Calling, which highlights the missions of the National Guard. Here's Sergeant Claudia Napier with more.
The Army recently launched its latest campaign, Uncommon is Calling, focused on the part-time service opportunities available in the Army National Guard. Uncommon is Calling highlights the extraordinary experiences and impactful missions of National Guard soldiers who answer the call to serve across their communities and country by comparing their everyday lives to the uncommon experiences they gain as part of the Army National Guard. The campaign depicts the unique component of part-time National Guard service and highlights footage of a disaster response missions that National Guard soldiers complete every year, from search and rescue efforts to natural disaster aid and recovery. I joined the National Guard in 2017 as a military police officer, have been deployed overseas, and have had the opportunity to be a recruiting and retention NCO. While many are unfamiliar with the opportunities in the Army National Guard, my story is proof that part-time service allows you to make a positive impact close to home while pursuing your civilian, personal, and professional passions. For more information on Uncommon is Calling and the National Guard, visit nationalguard.com.
Well, welcome, ladies and gents, to your furry friends, as I am your furry ambassador, Matt Doolittle. Yeah, we'll go with that. Well, she was the official greeter at a local gas station, tail wagging, smile wide, and welcoming every traveler like an old friend. But behind that happy face, Junao, the pup, was hiding a painful secret. Rescuers with the Manitoba Underdogs Rescue learned she'd been abandoned and was quietly suffering from a badly healed leg injury. Well, After being surrendered by her previous owner, who could no longer care for her, Junao is now safe with the rescue team and awaiting surgery to amputate her injured leg. But that hasn't dimmed her spirits. She's thriving, playful, and winning hearts with her sweet nature. Junao is great with kids, cats, and other dogs, and now she's looking for her forever home where she can retire from her gas station gig and become a full-time family member. And I think it's very important always to look at animals that you see kind of wandering out there, see if maybe they have a chip in them, and contact your local pet place basically to see if they're okay or not. And I hate these stories where they just get abandoned, but for Junao, at least, the story is going to end well for her. And also, real quick, I'm going to be at the Global Pet Expo this week, so I'll have all the new stuff coming out from the animals and for your pets at home this week.
Very cool. All right, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff out there. I know you got to check that out last year, so really neat stuff there, right? That's neat.
I'm taking my cat, so you can meet Bizkit the Kiki in person if you see me.
And get a podograph, instead of an autograph.
Is he taking the backpack with the
yeah, with the clear thing in the back, yes.
Yeah. Yep. The Argyle backpack.
The Argyle, right.
Okay,
so we can't wait to look out for that, Matt. Thanks so much. And Juno, what a good-looking dog, too. I love the eye popping
sweet
out.
Story.
Dogs give us so much, don't they?
They do. I mean, I tell you what, once you've had a dog, it's sort of hard not to have one for the rest of your life. And if you lose one, you miss that jingle jangle when you come home and that, unconditional love you get.
They don't ask for much.
They
just
don't.
feed me and be nice to me and I'll be good to you.
They love you regardless.
There we go. All right, we are not done yet, are we?
No, we're not. Stay with us. Still more to come here on Daily Flash. We're back right after this. Welcome back to Daily Flash. A matchmaker's lucrative business is complicated when she falls into a tragic love triangle. This is today's must-watch movie, Materialists.
Hey, are you single? I'm a matchmaker. Give me a call if you want to meet somebody.
I deserve someone who fulfills all of my criteria.
Nothing over 20 BMI.
I don't want someone who likes cats.
I'm trying to settle. I promise you're going to marry the love of your life.
Some boys kiss sweet, some boys hurt.
How many marriages are you responsible for now, Lucy?
9. If the girl asks for a call, drink of water, with a salary over 500 grand,
always Mr. Right.
you deliver.
You're the matchmaker. You want a drink?
Sure. Coke and beer.
Hey, buddy.
Hi, John.
Definitely didn't expect to run into you tonight.
I missed you.
Yeah, you don't even remember my face.
Lucy M., the Eternal Bachelorette.
You can do better than me.
My instincts are usually right.
Hi.
Wow. You know how to do the math, don't you? You are what we call a unicorn. An impossible fantasy. How much is this apartment?
12 million. Not gonna marry him, are you?
Why not?
Because he's good looking and rich. Probably doesn't have roommates.
Is that my charger?
When I see your face, I see wrinkles and children that look like you. So where does that leave us? What are you thinking about?
I don't think I'm very good at my job anymore. We promised them love, but the math doesn't add up.
Why does anyone even get married?
Because they're lonely. And because they're hopeful.
I'm turning 48, and I think I need to meet someone more grown.
I have a really beautiful client. She's 31.
I wasn't really thinking 30s.
Ooh, that looks good.
It does.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good one. Take care. We'll see you when we look at you.